Range, 500 miles on a single charge. And best of all, this high-quality, high-output electric motor requires zero maintenance.
Sounds too good to be true, Mr. Deacon. How much is the car going to cost?
Hey, I don't sell them. I just design them. All of your questions will be answered in detail by Mr. Ben Fletcher. He's the president of Solar Motors, who should be down any minute now.
How could you?
Oh, give it a rest, Rachel.
You promised Consumer Advocate magazine an exclusive on the solar flare, and now you've got every other magazine in the world downstairs.
I didn't build this car for a bunch of tree huggers. I built it to make money. How do I look?
Two-faced.
Fletcher, when were you going to tell me?
As soon as it was official.
I was going to be the only distributor for the solar flare.
Don't get greedy on me, Boots. Play your cards right, you'll still get half the country.
That wasn't our deal.
Deals are made to be broken. And if you don't take your hands off me right now, you'll get nothing. I knew you'd understand.
You out of your mind?
Good, you got my memo.
Forget it, Fletcher. I'm a safety consultant, not your yes man. I won't do this.
Of course you will, Crash, or you're fired.
Don't threaten me, Fletcher.
I think you've been in one crash too many. Remember, I can do anything I want to you. Anything.
That hurts. You're hurting me.
Good.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I was talking to a friend in Tokyo. You're the last one I ever thought would betray me.
Ben, it's not what you think.
What I think, Derek, is I should talk to the police.
You're nearly an hour late. I look like an idiot trying to cover for you.
Jim, you are an idiot. Now smile. We've got a car to sell.
Very funny. Here's the key. Knock 'em dead.
Why do I need the key? I'm just here to woo them.
Ben, we talked about this. You've got to drive the car. You've got to show them how it works. Then you can woo them to your heart's content.
I hope the son of a bitch starts.
Oh, it'll start all right.
Thank you all for joining me on this very special occasion. Today, I realize a lifelong dream to build a safe, clean, energy-efficient automobile. She's affordable. She doesn't look too bad either. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Solar Flare. It's not just an electric car. It's the future.
It's Burke's Law.
This Saturday. That's right.
Off to lunch. Interested?
I'd love to.
Okay, Chief. I got your tickets. You're all set.
Great.
Set for what?
Now, didn't I tell you Sinatra's playing Las Vegas this weekend? He invited me to see the show Saturday night.
Saturday night?
We didn't have other plans, did we?
No.
Sorry, Peter. Looks like you'll be on your own this weekend.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Chief Burke here. Yeah. All right. We'll be right there. Forget lunch. Ben Fletcher, president of Solar Motors, just came to a dead end. finished under the hood, don't forget to check the tires.
Hi, guys. Great set of wheels, huh?
She's electric. 5-speed automatic transmission, titanium alloy drivetrain. She goes 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. This is one mean machine.
How do you know so much about cars, Lil?
Oh, I grew up with a lollipop in one hand and a socket wrench in the other. My dad owns a garage.
Well, thanks for the tour under the hood. Now tell us about the victim.
He died in front of 50 witnesses.
How?
Electrocution. Bought it the moment he started the car.
Well, it was an electric car. How do we know the death wasn't an accident?
Get this. The ignition was rewired directly to the car's storage batteries. 30 of them. At 12 volts apiece.
That's enough juice to kill a whole carpool.
200,000.
Excuse me?
200,000 for your car. Hi, Boots McKay here.
McKay?
Yeah, well,
It used to be Makoto Makimoto, but you try getting that on a license plate holder.
you do those funny car commercials, right, with the chimpanzee?
Yeah, that's him. When it comes to selling quality automobiles, come see Boots McKay, the only dealer in town that does not monkey around. My motto also applies to buying quality automobiles. I saw you drive up in this beautiful Rolls. 1961 Silver Cloud 2, ain't it?
That's right.
I happen to be a collector of first editions. Would you take 225,000?
No, I'm not interested in selling. I'm interested in Ben Fletcher.
Terrible accident.
We don't think it was.
You're here trying to get your hands on the first solar flare off the assembly line.
No. Actually, I invested very heavily in Fletcher's dream car in exchange for exclusive distributorship rights. Now, I know I am one hell of a car salesman, but even I can't sell an electric car that's going to electrocute its driver.
But it didn't do it by itself. You have any idea who put the tiger in Fletcher's tank?
Yeah, I know somebody who's been doing an awful lot of growling.
Who's that?
Solar Motors' chief designer, Jim Deacon. Him and Ben been at each other's throats for months. I told Deacon that if he didn't watch it, Fletcher was going to fire him. And all Deacon said was, not if I kill him first.
Sounds like we better find designer Jim Deacon. See if he had any designs on murder. Going someplace, Mr. Deacon. Who are you?
Homicide police. We're here about Ben Fletcher.
Homicide? You mean Ben was murdered?
Looks like it.
Since you happen to be the designer of the car, and since you happen to have threatened Ben Fletcher only a week ago, we are here.
Yes, I was angry. I said the sort of things you say when you get angry. But it's nothing I'd ever do.
What were you fighting with Ben about?
This.
You were arguing over a piece of luggage?
This is not just any piece of luggage. This is my latest invention. It's the ultimate form of transportation for the businessman on the go.
Don't tell me. It's a car.
It's the ultimate subcompact. Fully functional car in a suitcase.
Sounds like a great idea.
But Fletcher didn't like it.
Oh, listen. Everybody thought of Ben as one of the great innovators because he saved one of the big three automakers from bankruptcy. That was over a decade ago. Believe me, he had to be dragged kicking and screaming through every innovation. We were together, what, 14 years? I must have threatened to kill him at least 1,400 times.
Maybe you finally kept your word.
No, listen to me. The solar flare may have been Ben's dream, but it was my baby. Killing him was the same thing as killing the car. I never would have done that.
I don't follow.
Solar Motors is built on one thing, Ben Fletcher's reputation. With him gone, who knows what's going to happen to this company?
Who else fought for them?
Everyone. But you know, there's really only one other person that I ever heard threaten to kill him. Consumer advocate, Rachel Davis.
And what does she have to do with Ben Fletcher?
Oh, nothing anymore. But up until a few weeks ago, they were lovers. Word has it that Ben was growing tired of her. Gonna trade her in for a new model. Listen, would you gentlemen excuse me? I've got a very important appointment.
Erik, consumer advocate. We test everything from cookies to cars.
It's mattresses.
Here we spend a third of our life on them, which makes this one of our most important consumer lab tests. This brand certainly is durable. Mattress number 2 looks comfortable. Some consider this one of our most important mattress tests.
Or at least the most fun. For what we hear, the fun was over between you and Ben Fletcher.
So you knew about our affair, huh?
And your threat to kill him.
Look, if you're trying to say that I killed Ben Fletcher because he dumped me, you can forget it. I mean, read my magazine. I was his champion.
That doesn't mean you weren't his killer.
Consumer Advocate is built on one thing, truth. In the products I tested and the articles that I write. And I'm telling you the truth when I say I didn't kill Ben Fletcher. But maybe you'd like to test my theory on who did.
Which is?
Crash Kramer.
The race car driver.
Former race car driver. 3 years ago, the brakes failed on his car. The car that Ben Fletcher built for him.
Race car drivers get hurt all the time. Why blame Fletcher?
Crash was worried about the brake system on the car. He complained to Ben about it, and Ben guaranteed him that the problem had been corrected, that the brakes were safe. Well, they failed the last lap of the Indianapolis 500, which, by the way, Crash was about to win.
Yeah, I remember that. He hit the wall going close to 200 miles an hour. He was lucky to survive.
Yes, the accident shattered both of his legs. Crash's racing career was over.
Excellent theory, Ms. Davis.
Thank you.
Sounds like you better race over to Crash Kramer. See how he handles Dead Man's Curve.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Crash Kramer.
It feels great on tight turns. Who are you?
Detective Burke, homicide. I got a few questions about Ben Fletcher.
Yeah, well, I got a tight schedule to keep. You want to talk, you climb in.
Sounds like fun.
Hey! Safety first.
What are we testing?
New 4-point safety belt system. Buckle up. You find out who killed Ben yet?
Yeah, we think so.
Really? Who?
You.
Oh, I get it. You think because Ben Fletcher knowingly let me drive a car with lousy brakes at speeds over 200 miles an hour, brakes which in fact failed, ended my racing career and almost crippled me, that I killed him.
That about sums it up?
Well, you better start reacting. Crashing that car was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Why is that?
After that, Ben felt bad about the accident. He helped me start my business.
What exactly is your business?
I'm an automotive safety expert. All the car companies come to me to help test all their new safety packages. Besides, I really couldn't blame him for the accident. My nickname is Crash.
Thanks to the ride.
Anytime.
Hey, Pete. I got good news, bad news, and no news. Which do you want first?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. No, I'm not fine.
It's your birthday, isn't it?
How do you know?
You're turning the big 3-0 on Saturday. Man, it's bugging you, huh?
Yeah, I guess it is.
You come bearing gifts?
Well, yeah, like I just told Pete. I've got good news, bad news, and no news.
I thought no news was good news.
No news is no news. Good news is good news. Which do you want first?
What's the no news?
The autopsy didn't reveal anything we don't already know. Ben Fletcher died of cardiac arrest, induced by severe electric shock.
What's the bad news?
I found a number of individual fingerprints on the solar flare. Unfortunately, that number is 217. Everybody and his brother touched that car.
And the good news?
Well, the good news is actually good and bad. The good news is I found a single hair follicle on one of the car's storage batteries. The bad news is it belongs to a chimpanzee.
No, Lily. The bad news is good news. We know where the chimp hair comes from. The superstar car dealer.
Boots McKay.
You want to advise him that he has the right to remain silent?
Funny, Daddy, but you know, chimpanzees are a lot smarter than you think. Yeah. We're here to see Boots.
Well, look at the chimp dragged in. Thank you, Charlie. Your timing is perfect. There it is, Chief. My final offer. $250,000 cash for your rolls.
I'd hang on to it if I were you. You might need it for a lawyer.
Who, me?
I bet you end up with a lot of Charlie's hair on your clothes, don't you?
Well, yeah. So?
So we found this on one of the solar flare storage batteries. It's chimpanzee. Now, unless you can convince us your little friend there was an auto mechanic, there's only one way it could have gotten under the hood. It fell off your clothes when you rewired the car to electrocute Ben Fletcher.
There is another way. Here, take a look. You see, Charlie was going to be the star of our new solar flare ad campaign. Our slogan, drive the next step in automotive evolution.
Very catchy.
When were these pictures taken?
Day before yesterday. Frankly, I'm surprised that you only found one hair.
One is enough.
Not this time, Chief. I didn't do it. How much do you think Ben Fletcher was worth?
Between 10 and 15 mil.
How about closer to 20?
Okay. 20.
And who do you suppose was going to inherit every penny of it? I'll give you a hint. Someone who was in desperate financial straits.
Who gets the money?
His sister, Mary Burton.
Mary Burton? Of Burton Investment Bank Group?
And sole heir.
Sounds like I better invest some time in Mary Burton. See if she's up to any monkey business.
Studio stretching from coast to coast with a franchise on legs. I've been a Broadway star for 20 years, so we already have the recognizable factor. All I need now is a little seed money, and we can take this baby public.
Right now, I would appreciate it if you would take it off my desk.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. So, what do you think?
I'll have my people crunch some numbers and get back to you.
Oh, great. And?
And what are you selling?
I specialize in long-term investments. 25 years to life. Chief Burke, homicide.
Of course. I still can't believe my brother's dead.
Make me believe that you didn't kill him.
Excuse me? Why would I kill my own brother?
Money? I understand you need it. Lots of it. To keep your empire from collapsing.
Yes. Lately, I have suffered a number of financial setbacks. But now that Ben is dead, my financial problems are more, not less.
No, I find that hard to believe, considering the fact that you've just inherited $20 million.
It's nothing compared to the 2 million shares of Solar Motors that I owned. That stock opened last month at $25 a share. Do you know what it opened at this morning?
$4 a share.
That's right. His death has cost me $42 million. That's more than double the inheritance, so I don't think you have to be an investment banker to see that those numbers just don't add up to murder.
And when it comes to murder, numbers rarely add up. Burke's Law.
Hey, miss, have I got a surprise party for you? I tell you, Amos, it's going to be a surprise party to end all surprise parties. You do understand, of course, that will mean that it is going to be mucho dinero.
Vinny, when it comes to him, money's no object.
I'm so glad you said that, Amos, because I have Ramon in my mind, an Arabian Night motif, dancing girls. Oh, yes, every one of them looking like me on the top and like him on the bottom. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. And I have to tell you that there's going to be on a magic carpet couscous, cold goose, and fig juice. Oh, and the piano resistance says Ramon goes over to a baked lamp, rubs it, and who comes out?
The genie. Nice touch.
Yes, exactly. Robin Williams, eat your heart out.
Hello, Vinny.
Oh.
Dad, huh? Hope I'm not interrupting anything. The office said I'd find you here.
No, not at all. I'm glad you're here, son. Maybe you can help out. We were planning, a surprise party for Frank.
Frank?
Bold Blue Eyes. You know, the chairman of the board? Ha-ha, yeah.
Yeah, Vinny was thinking of an Arabian Nights motif, you know, but I'm not so sure.
No. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Don't forget a fire eater.
A fire eater. A fire eater. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Does he have to do all the thinking for me? Go on, blow. Sorry about that. Listen, I have from the Gulf of Texas a shrimp so dying to be to die for.
Any luck finding out what Ben Fletcher had to die for?
Well, I ran down all the major stockholders of Solar Motors like you asked. The company just went public last month. Up until then, it was privately owned by 5 shareholders.
Let me guess. As our victim, Ben Fletcher, his sister, the investment banker Mary Burton, then there's designer Jim Deacon. He must own a big piece of the company. That's number 3. Who else?
Supercar dealer Boots McKay. And last but not least, consumer advocate Rachel Davis.
What is America's #1 consumer advocate doing owning a huge piece of a car company? Almost sounds like a conflict of interest.
When I was going over a background check, I came across a lawsuit she filed against Ben Fletcher 6 years ago.
What about?
Wrongful death. She claimed Ben Fletcher killed her parents.
Really?
Or at least his car did. The suit charged Fletcher knowingly allowed U.S. Motors to sell a defective car.
Did she win?
I don't know. It was settled out of court.
Unsettling, isn't it?
Very.
We call this the Consumer Advocate Hall of Shame. Here we have the mighty meatloaf dinner with creamy couch potatoes.
Too much cholesterol.
Too much triphosphorus glutamate. America's favorite TV dinner was loaded with a deadly carcinogen.
There's nothing sacred.
And now we come to the reason why I sued Ben Fletcher. This gas tank was responsible for the death of my parents and at least 20 other documented traffic fatalities.
You claim that when Ben Fletcher was the head of U.S. Motors, that he knew that the gas tank on his line of presidential automobiles was unsafe.
Yes, he knew. And he still marketed a car which in a rear-end collision situation would kill passengers.
You settled out of court? What was the settlement?
Companies like U.S. Motors kill people all the time through negligence, and the only way to stop them is to test every product out there. I told Ben that I wanted to start an organization that would protect the consumer.
And he gave you the money to start up Consumer Advocate.
That's right. I guess my pain changed him. I mean, he finally realized that the bottom line wasn't about the car, but about the people who drive it. And by the way, Ben gave me a lot more than just his money. He gave me his time. And together we worked to launch Consumer Advocate.
And then you fell in love with him. You know, what I don't understand is how you, the head of Consumer Advocate, ends up with 2 million shares of Solar Motors stock.
Well, let's just say it's Ben's way of saying thanks.
For the memories?
No, for convincing him to start a company based on alternative fuel. Solar Motors was my idea. And, by the way, I don't own stock in the company anymore. Not personally. I've signed it over to my magazine, and all proceeds go to benefit the consumer.
You've got an answer for everything, don't you?
Well, except one thing. The other day, I was going through some things that Ben had left at my house, and I came across a stack of phone bills. Now, Ben had checked off a number of overseas calls made by an employee to a German car company. Now, Ben suspected that this employee was trying to sell his secret to the solar flare.
Which employee?
The one who knew it most, Jim Deacon, its designer.
I think someone will have to talk to this Mr. Deacon. See if he sprechen Sie Deutsch. Auf Wiedersehen.
Detective, come on in. You can check out my latest invention, Brainstorm. It's called the motor mouth.
Motor mouth?
Yeah, it's for this very frustrating moment in traffic, you know, when a simple hand gesture isn't enough. Comes equipped with a dozen pre-programmed messages. You got a tailgate here? Hit number 1. What's your pet peeve?
When somebody cuts me off.
Okay.
I can't read that.
Yeah, it's because the letters are reversed. So the jerk who cut you off can read it in his rearview mirror. You want to see what he sees?
It's cute. I love it.
Yeah. I guarantee you, by the year 2000, every car in America is going to come equipped with a motor mouth.
Yeah? Well, I got a message for you.
Look, I already told you everything I know.
Yeah, well, my father tells me you've been letting your fingers do a little walking overseas. Jawohl.
You know, when the guy you work for threatens on a daily basis to have you fired, it doesn't hurt to have a few extra tire irons in the fire.
Well, my guess is Ben Fletcher found out you were selling solar flare technology to the Germans. He confronted you, and you had to kill him.
So I leak a few design tidbits to the Germans just to pique their interest. Just in case Ben ever did fire me, but that's all. And that's the truth.
Maybe. But... Okay, we'll call it the Burke instinct. Just check it out and get back to me as soon as you can. All right, thanks a lot. Dad, I may have something. I found a credit card receipt in Ben Fletcher's wallet from Long Beach Memorial, the emergency room, dated the day before he was killed.
What was Fletcher doing in the emergency room?
Long Beach PD is running it down as we speak.
Music to my ears. Do me a favor, will you? Play this.
Okay.
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless she loves you all the way.
Dad. If you're planning on a recording career, I'm sorry, this song's already been sung.
Oh, I know that. It was just the boys and I thought that Frank would enjoy our singing it for a surprise party.
Incoming, this could be it.
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you.
Somebody didn't love Ben Fletcher.
Happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you. What have you got?
Well, according to this police report, he was treated for minor injuries after being hit by a car. Somebody tried to run him over. You'll never guess who.
A former race car driver, Crash Kramer.
It's supposed to keep a race car driver safe a full 2 minutes. Thanks to your heroics, we only know it's good for what, Sammy Joe?
33 seconds.
Yeah, well, next time I'll just let you burn. If there is a next time.
What's that supposed to mean?
That depends on when you get out of jail. The day before Ben Fletcher was electrocuted, you try to run him down with your car.
I'm a professional driver. If I wanted to run him over with my car, he'd have been dead.
Are you saying you didn't hit him?
He hit me.
Right. Ben Fletcher on foot hit you in your car.
Let's back up a bit. The other day, I get home early from a meeting, hoping to surprise my wife. Well, I surprised her all right. She was in bed with Fletcher. What can I say? I got a little hot. Do you mind?
Hold still.
Anyway, the first thing I wanted to do was to kill Fletcher. The second thing, I wanted to kill her. Then I realized the best thing to do was to get the hell out of there. So I jumped into my vet. Fletcher came running out of the house screaming he wanted to talk.
And that's when he jumped in front of your car.
I swerved to avoid him. He got clipped. End of story.
Yeah, not quite. Next day, Fletcher's dead. The man who ended your professional driving career, the man who slept with your wife. I can't think of two better motives for murder, can you?
You're gonna have to. Because I didn't kill him.
How'd it go with our race car driver?
Well, let's just say that lead went up in smoke.
I hate to admit it, Peter, but I'm beginning to feel that we're driving around in circles.
Tell me about it. You know, why do you keep this picture in here?
Why? Because you look so cute.
Well, I was about 7 years old in this picture, Dad. I mean, you would think you would put something a little bit more recent in here.
Are you all right?
I'm not 7 years old anymore.
Oh, it's your birthday. That's it. Your birthday's Saturday, and I forgot. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I'll cancel my trip to Las Vegas. No. Frank will understand.
No, don't cancel anything. I'm fine.
You don't sound fine.
It's stupid. You know, it's just that I'm about to become one of them.
One of who?
The 30-somethings. Dad, it's not funny.
Well, it is to someone who's 60-something.
You know, it's just that I feel like I should have done so much by the time I turned 30.
Like what? Take a trip around the world?
Done that.
Make your first million?
You know money doesn't mean a lot to me.
Peter, do you regret becoming a cop?
No, I love being a cop, and I love doing it with you.
What's your problem?
30 sounds so grown up. You know, and in my heart, I still feel like the little boy in this picture.
I'll tell you a little secret, Peter. So do I.
Here you go, Chief. 1 Chinese chicken salad and 1 business section. Japanese car maker Fujiyama just bought solar motors.
The deal was struck by investment banker Mary Burton, sister and heir of Solar Motors founder Ben Fletcher.
Fletcher must be rolling over in his grave.
I better have another chat with Mary Burton. See if I can get her to roll over.
Spain de huru amewa.
Kanarazu.
Kanarazu.
Daichi.
Daichi.
No ue.
No ue. Huh? Oh, good. Once more.
Spain.
Oh, excuse me. Chief Burke.
I hope this isn't a bad time.
No. My lesson's almost finished.
Your Japanese sounds very good. What were you saying?
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
Domo arigato kitahari-san.
Matashita.
I hope you're learning to count in Japanese. According to my calculations, Fujiyama Motors has just guaranteed you 4 billion yen. That's $40 million.
Do you have a problem with my making money? It is, after all, what I do.
I'm having a problem with the timing.
Let me put your mind at ease. These negotiations started months ago, and they began with Ben's blessing.
Can I confirm this with anyone?
Unfortunately, these talks were top secret, and only Ben and I knew about them.
And the Japanese, of course. I think I'll brush up on my Japanese and have a talk with them.
Yeah, it's possible that maybe Ben didn't know everything about my negotiations.
Did he know anything?
All right. He didn't know anything at all about the deal, but I was going to tell him everything the minute I had it all hammered out. And it's not my fault he's dead.
But it sure was convenient.
I'll admit, it might have been a hard sell if Ben was still alive, but he is not alive, and it's my decision now. Remember, everyone said Solar Motors is nothing without my brother. Well, I'm lucky I could get anyone at all to buy this company.
I'm still not sure I'm buying your story.
Oh, well, I'm not finished selling. Look, Fujiyama was not going to make this deal unless they got sole distributorship of the solar flare.
I thought Boots McKay had that.
He decided Boots was the wrong image for his new car.
Did Boots know about Ben's decision?
I accidentally let it slip the day before Ben was murdered. Oh, Boots was mad. I only wish I'd realized how mad.
Chief! Boy, I am so glad you called. Now, I really want to apologize for insulting you by offering you money for your roles. I should have realized that a man of your means doesn't need money. However, what he might need is a classic car to replace a classic car. So I want you to take your pick of any car in my private collection. What about the Bugatti over there? That's a beauty.
How about the truth?
The truth? I'm a car salesman.
And my prime suspect, since I found out that Fletcher pulled the oil plant out from under your distribution deal.
Hogwash.
Not according to Mary Burton. She says you knew about it the day before Fletcher was killed. Plenty of time to rig the car.
All right. I will admit that the thought of killing Ben did cross my mind, however fleetingly. But I'd have been absolutely crazy to have really done it.
And why is that?
Why? I still own 2 million shares of Solar Motor stock, worth more with Ben alive than dead. Now, do I strike you as being the kind of man that would shoot himself in the foot 2 million times?
With those boots of yours, it's hard to tell.
I like your sense of humor, Chief. So what'll it be? The Daimler? Hop in. I'll give you a ride.
Sorry, Boots, I'm still not interested. But if you're lying to me about Fletcher, I'm going to be taking you for a ride in a paddy wagon.
Great news, Pete.
You know who killed Ben Fletcher?
Not yet, but I think I know why.
Why?
Well, I came down to the impound to take another peek under the flare's hood. Only I ended up taking more than a peek. I poked, I prodded. Then I asked for the plans. Now, this flare really is an amazing automobile. Maintenance-free, triple-digit top speed, 500 miles on a single charge.
Ah, but there's a but, huh?
You better enjoy those 500 miles, because that's as far as this car's gonna go. The batteries only hold a charge once.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
That's right. The solar flare should have been called Fletcher's Folly. It doesn't work.
Mr. Deacon, Detective Burke is here to see you.
Send him in, please. Michelle is helping me conceptualize a new body design. I mean, look at this line. Look at this. I mean, it's purity, it's sensuous, cat-like quality. You know, all of my car designs have been inspired by beautiful women.
Who was your inspiration for the solar flare?
Why do you ask?
Well, I think she's going to be really disappointed when she finds out the car doesn't work.
Michelle, could you take a break, please? How do you know about the car?
Doesn't matter how I know. Question is, did Ben Fletcher know?
Yes, of course he knew.
Ben Fletcher took his company public knowing his flagship car didn't work.
Look, that's why he had to take the company public. In order to save the solar flare, we needed two things. One, time, two, money. 6 months, oh, I don't know, a year maybe, we would have had the battery problem licked. The car would then be in production. Everybody would make money.
Yeah, well, Ben couldn't have been too happy knowing his dream car turned into some kind of nightmare.
No, he went crazy.
And that's the reason he was talking about firing you.
Yes.
And that's the reason you killed him.
No. Look, the morning that Ben was killed, he told me that he figured out how to solve the battery problem. And we were supposed to meet right after the press conference. Look, even if I'd killed him, and I didn't, certainly I would have waited until after he told me how to fix the car.
Well, Lily and I went back over every inch of that solar flare again. We didn't find anything new except a leaky master cylinder and too much grease in the gearbox. You know, did it ever occur to you, Dad, that maybe none of these suspects did it?
It's possible, but not likely. Well, there's only one thing to do. Go back to the very beginning. Pull all the files, all the crime scene photos, everything. We'll take it from the top.
Might as well. We got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Peter, that's it.
What's it?
Nothing to lose. The killer's the only one of our suspects with nothing to lose.
You're right. You got it. You're a genius.
Only if we can prove it. Come on, son, it's going to be a long night. I want to thank you all for meeting us. We're here to return the car and repossess a killer. Oh, Mr. Deacon, you are in a lot of trouble.
I didn't kill Ben.
I'm talking about driving an unlicensed vehicle on public streets. If I were you, I'd get that car in a suitcase down to DMV. ASAP. Rachel, how could you?
I'm innocent.
Ben Fletcher's murder, yes. But you sacrificed your integrity to keep your organization afloat. I hope it was worth it. Mary, I hope you have some very good lawyers.
Why? What did I do?
You made that very complicated deal with the Japanese. And it's going to get a lot more complicated when you tell them the car doesn't work.
What?
Talk to Mr. Deacon. He'll explain everything. Boots, boots, boots. Did you really think you'd get away with it?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
The $10,000 you offered Henry to convince me to sell the rolls. Fortunately for me, Henry is extremely loyal. And unfortunately for you, my answer is still no. And you crash. You almost did get away with it. Until I realized that if Ben Fletcher died, only one suspect had nothing to lose.
You think I killed Ben?
Oh, I know you did. Because everyone else here had 2 million reasons not to kill him. Everyone but you.
Our stock.
That's right. You all kept reminding me that Solar Motors was Ben Fletcher. When he was alive, the stock was worth $25 a share. Dead? Barely 4. But you crashed. You didn't own any stock in Solar Motors.
It doesn't mean I killed him.
But these do. Once we realized who to focus in on, we got a search warrant. We found these in a toolbox in the trunk of your car.
You see this? Battery acid. Made these holes crash. A battery acid developed specifically for the solar flare.
And we found half a dozen copper filaments embedded in the gloves. Filaments that are an exact match to the wire used in the electrocution.
Ben Fletcher ruined your racing career. He destroyed your marriage, and that's why you killed him.
No. I killed Ben because I didn't want him to kill anybody else.
How's that?
The solar flare wasn't safe. I ran the tests. Any front or back impact above 25 miles an hour, and the batteries explode. The car's a death trap. When I told Ben, he said, don't worry about it. It's just a prototype. They'll fix it in the production model. Well, I had heard that before. When he knew about my brakes on my Indy car, and when he knew about the exploding gas tanks in the presidential, don't you see? He left me no choice. Either a lot of people were gonna get killed in the solar flare, or just one.
And you leave me no choice. Peter, take Crash for a ride downtown.
Not to cancel your trip to Vegas.
Peter, there never was a trip to Vegas.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, you fell for it hook, line, and sucker. Wait a minute. Where's the entertainment? Ramon! Ramon! Let's everybody drink and be merry. Couscous for everybody! Woo!
You really think I forgot?
Well,
How could I forget the proudest day of my life? Oh, happy birthday, son.